Hi guys, it's Jeanet and welcome back to my channel. Also, if you're new here, I post new adaptation related videos every week, and today I'm doing my second video on my still unnamed series about movie sequels. As February is Dragon Month, I decided to do the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, and specifically for today's video I am focusing on the first two movies and how they compare. And I have to admit that the main reason why I decided to have February be Dragon Month is because the third How to Train Your Dragon movie is coming out soon. But before I get into it, I do want to give a quick spoiler warning for both movies, as I am going to be discussing character and themes, and I'm also going to be showing some clips of the movies as they become relevant. So for those of you who are new here, in this series I kind of look at a movie and its sequel, and I compare the two, and through that kind of try and gauge whether or not it makes for a good sequel. But through that, I do want to stress that this by no means comments on the quality of the movie itself or the quality as a standalone separate from its original source. However, before we do get into that, I want to give a quick review on my thoughts of the second movie as just a movie. I didn't do this for The Incredibles and I'm really regretting it. So I generally enjoy this movie. I think the tension, character growth and story stemmed very naturally from the situation, and I actually really enjoyed the fact that you get to follow Hiccup through like a long-term journey, and by that I mean that the sequel didn't start directly or even shortly after the first movie, and there was a 5-year time skip, and I just kind of really enjoyed the fact that you're kind of seeing his whole life story instead of just like a slice of it. I might even go as far as to say that this is for me the best unplanned sequel that I've seen so far in an animated film. And what I mean by unplanned sequel is that there was no intention for there to be a sequel until the producers saw the results of the reception of the first movie. Whereas with something like Percy Jackson or even the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie series, there was intention for there to be sequels initially. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get started on the development of the themes and characters present in both the first and second movie. So of course the first and second movie have their own themes. I counted 6 major themes in each, but as always there are some themes that feature in both movies, and those are the 3 that I'm going to be discussing. So in the case of How to Train Your Dragon, the first of the 3 themes that the movies have in common is the theme of David versus Goliath. In the first film, the theme of David versus Goliath is portrayed in Hiccup having to stand up against his father, as well as being portrayed in the final battle with the extremely large dragon. While in the second film, it is not only a battle between a small dragon and a large dragon, but it also seems to comment on the value of doing something for the sake of others rather than doing it for yourself. The second theme is one of never leaving a friend behind, and in both films I really appreciated the way it was handled, because not only do you see Hiccup going to help Toothless when he's in need of it, but you see Toothless returning the gesture when Hiccup needs him. This is demonstrated when Hiccup goes to the boat that Toothless is being held on to try and free him, and then when Toothless does his level best to get to Hiccup while they're falling. You see it again when Hiccup goes to free Toothless from Draco, and you see it as well when Toothless defends Hiccup against the Alpha Dragon. The third and final theme that both films share is the theme of family acceptance. You see this arc in the relationship between Hiccup and his father in the first film, and in the second film the theme is present between Hiccup's father and mother. I found it really interesting that in the second film the theme was present between Hiccup's parents, and that the acceptance that needed to take place was from Volca needing to accept that Stoic had changed and that she could open herself back up to family life and returning to Berk. I think these themes work very well, and along with the themes of forgiveness and of responsibility, I think it portrays the growth that Hiccup goes through at that stage, and that anyone typically goes through at the age of 2021 really well. I think it just worked very well for his character in general. Now, moving on to the characters, I am only going to be addressing 3 characters specifically, because those are the characters that I felt had kind of character growth within both movies and were present in both movies, and that is Hiccup, Toothless, and Stoic. Focusing first on Hiccup, his main character arc in the first film seems to center on self-acceptance, as he has to learn that he can't necessarily be the man his father wants him to be. Whereas in the second film, his arc seems to be all about accepting the responsibility of what others expect and need from him. Then, moving on to Stoic, I don't really know if I can call it an arc, but I did find it interesting that in the first movie, Stoic started out extremely stubborn and set in one mindset, and he needed to learn to let go of his perceptions and expectations of Hiccup in order to embrace what Hiccup had to offer. Whereas in the second movie, he had to stand his ground on what he knew to be true in order to help Hiccup grow and learn. Similarly, Toothless started out not trusting Hiccup and learns that not only does he need to learn to trust Hiccup, but he needs to work together with Hiccup to survive. Whereas in the second movie, he starts out trusting Hiccup and working together with him, but during the final confrontation with the Alpha, Toothless has to face the Alpha independently. It's something that Toothless has to do himself, and though Hiccup serves as a motivator, he doesn't do it with Hiccup's help. As you can probably tell, I really enjoyed the way they handled the story and just handled the character growth in general. I do, however, wish they had given Astrid's character an arc as well. I did appreciate the fact that she was just as badass in the second movie as she was in the first, and I also really appreciated the fact that she gave Eret a second chance, because I think it really laminated the character growth that she did in the first movie. But I do think it could have been improved on. I have to admit, I am super nervous about whether or not I will like the third movie. I am so afraid that it won't live up to the first movie or even the second movie. But I am still going to go and watch it, and I am going to be making a video on it. So let me know if you want another comparison video like this, or if you would like me to do a more in-depth breakdown of the character arcs, the themes, etc. I am totally open to suggestions. Next week's video is going to be another stick to the script, so be sure to come back for that. If you haven't watched last week's one, I'll leave it here and at the end of the video. And if you did enjoy today's video, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more adaptation related content. My social media and Patreon will be linked below as well, and otherwise I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!